Morning guys, I'm Vinny. I'm 47 years old and I very recently retired after being made redundant for the second time in my career in tech. It's a lovely morning in England at the moment, really sunny. We don't often get weather like this in the winter, so I thought I'd do a walk and talk video this morning and make the most of the brilliant weather. I only retired about a week and a half ago, and in this video I just wanted to share some things that I'd noticed almost immediately after I retired. The first thing I noticed was that everybody around me seems to be running around at this crazy speed, almost like somebody had kicked over a hornet's nest. And it's something I'd never really noticed before, and I think the reason I'd never noticed it is because I was one of those people. So I'd be driving around, the traffic lights would turn green, I would accelerate right up to the speed limit as fast as I could get there. I would drive, heading to my next destination. There'd be a red light ahead, I'd hit the brakes hard, stop at the red light, green light would come on, accelerate back up to the speed limit. And I've noticed this especially with driving in the last couple of weeks. My driving pace seems to have almost slowed down, and I've noticed that everybody around me seems to be driving around really quickly. And I guess it's because everybody's under pressure to get somewhere, and since I retired that pressure is being completely taken away from me. I've noticed when I'm driving now, it seems to be a much more relaxing activity, and everybody around me is driving like maniacs, and I've got nowhere to go really since I've retired. So my driving style has become a lot more relaxed in the last week and a half, and it feels really good. I actually feel quite chilled out, and I've started to enjoy driving rather than treating driving as something you do to get from one place to another. The second thing I noticed is that my stress level has dropped dramatically, and I've become a lot less irritable. When I was working, I was in a senior position in a big corporate company, and I was always running around like a maniac trying to get some project in, or I was always stressed out trying to fix some big emergency. And since I was made redundant a couple of weeks back, all of that pressure is just evaporated, and what I'm finding is that my stress levels have dropped dramatically. Also, I used to get quite irritable when I was under a lot of stress, and my irritability has evaporated overnight, so I'm a much nicer person than I was about 3 weeks ago. It feels really good to have dropped all that pressure and stress from work, and I just feel so much better in myself. I feel like my mental health has taken a big boost from not working anymore, and I guess this is quite a common thing in retirement. All of a sudden you don't have to run at that manic pace all the time, so really enjoying that one at the moment. The third big change I've noticed since I've retired is that I've stopped checking the time. I haven't worn a watch for years, but what I always used to find myself doing was picking up my mobile phone and checking what time it is. Or if I was in work, I'd be constantly checking the clock on the laptop to see what time it was. I even noticed this in the gym. I primarily do strength training in the gym, and I would find myself doing a set of weights, and in between sets I would be constantly checking the clock to see what time it was. And I guess this is something that's caused by having a job, because I used to go to the gym either before work or straight after work, and I was never able to relax because I was always checking the clock to work out how long I had before I had to get to work. I've noticed in the past couple of weeks that clock watching has completely stopped. I'm out filming this at the moment, and I've actually got no idea what time it is. I know it's the morning, but that's about all I can tell you, because I'm just not looking at the clock anymore. I think that's a real big bonus of retiring. You're no longer worried about what time it is, or where do I have to be next, or what appointments or what meeting I have to go to next. And I guess not checking the time every 5 minutes as well also lessens your stress levels. So yeah, that's been another great benefit of retiring early. Morning. Morning. Good morning. The fourth big change I've noticed since I retired early was that I'm automatically spending more time with my family. I'm finding myself doing a lot more activities with my two children. I was having coffee with one of my daughters last week, and we seem to have all the time in the world. We were talking for a very long time, and I noticed that I don't really take that time to talk properly with my daughter. There's always something in the back of her mind. I've got to do something for work, I've got to check something, and all that pressure is now evaporated. My mum and dad are both retired, and ordinarily I don't really get a chance to spend time with them because I'm always working, and I found that over the last few weeks I've been able to spend about 3 times as much time with my mum and dad as I would do on a normal week. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of early retirement, having that extra time to do with as you please. Your family aren't going to be there forever, especially your parents. You might have another 10-15 years at most with your parents, and I think it's important to spend that time with them, and that's something that early retirement has allowed me to do. The fifth big change I noticed after I retired early was I've stopped checking my mobile phone as frequently as I used to do. I think this is an effect of being on call in work. I had this senior position in a company and I used to get called out of hours regularly. I used to get calls in the middle of the day asking me to jump on some emergency, and whenever my mobile phone buzzed, there was an automatic tendency to just pick it up and just check what it was, because it was probably some emergency in work. And since I've been made redundant and I've retired, I've no longer got that continuous urge to keep picking up the phone. So I've got to the point now where I've started leaving my mobile phone in other rooms and just not bothering to check it for hours at a time. And it feels great not to have that pressure anymore, to the point where now when my phone buzzes, I don't even really bother picking it up anymore. And after only a week and a half of retiring, it's reached the point where I don't even really bother picking up the phone when it buzzes now. I'll sometimes leave the phone for 2 or 3 hours before I even look at it. That's definitely been a big plus point of taking early retirement. The sixth thing that I've noticed is that my quality of sleep has improved dramatically in the week and a half since I retired. I think a lot of that is related to work. So if I was working on quite a stressful project in work, I'd often find myself waking up in the middle of the night thinking about some detail that I've forgotten. Sometimes my sleep wasn't brilliant, especially through the week. I like to get 8 hours of sleep a night. That's one thing I'm definitely not going to miss about a corporate job, waking up in the middle of the night and thinking, oh, I've forgotten something on project X, or I need to do something tomorrow on project Y, or I need to arrange a meeting with this person. Maybe I was under a great deal of stress in work, but now that that's gone, I'm finding that I'm getting a full 8 hours of sleep without interruption. The first thing I used to do when I got up in the morning was brew up with a coffee, because I used to feel quite tired. And now I'm finding that I don't need that morning coffee anymore to stimulate me. I'm finding that I'm getting out of bed, I'm feeling well rested, and now I'm finding that I can just have a glass of water and some light breakfast, whereas beforehand it was coffee just to wake me up for the day. And I think that was an effect of broken sleep. Now that my job has gone and that I've retired, I'm actually starting to get back into normal sleep patterns, and I'm hoping that'll continue long term. But it does feel fantastic to wake up and actually feel refreshed and not have to take something like caffeine to get yourself jacked up for the day. So again, another great reason to take early retirement. Get yourself some proper sleep for a change. So those changes that I've noticed are the 6 things that immediately spring to mind. So taking early retirement has been quite enlightening. I'm really enjoying those benefits. I'm really enjoying those changes that I've noticed over the past few weeks as well. I know some of you guys who watch the channel are already retired, and some of you have took early retirement. Quick question for you guys. Did you see similar changes when you retired? Did you notice that everybody else seems to be running around like a maniac, and that your pace of life almost seems to have slowed down? Did you notice a big drop in your stress levels? Did you notice that you're suddenly sleeping better? And what other benefits did you notice when you retired? So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found that video useful. Don't forget to drop me a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you want to join me on my early retirement journey, feel free to drop me a subscription. I'd really appreciate that. So I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy. Cheers. Bye for now.